Richard.
Hello, people. Welcome back to the Actor's Take, and good morning. I am your host, the Actor, and we're gonna start to talk about something of recent news here. I'm gonna just preface this. I am just as much beyond talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the Oscars thing and the whole thing with Will Smith. It's been of discussion this whole week, and I'm starting to also feel like they've been beating on a dead horse. But for some reason, it seems as though we keep on getting news. And I think the reason why people are saying that they're over it, but yet we're still sort of invested in figuring out what's to come and what's to happen is mostly because we're talking about somebody that's pretty much been on the up and up for years. And for him to do something like this is extremely out of character. And so it's like, it's somewhat odd to be seeing him in real time do something like this and go through his punishment. Will Smith has pretty much been banned from the Oscars for 10 years. That's what the Academy thought was the punishment for essentially assaulting Chris Rock. Essentially, what the reaction is from all of the masses really is that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. People are battling. The Academy should take his Oscar away. They should, still ban him from coming to the Oscars. But essentially, they think that the punishment should be take his trophy away. After he done embarrassed the Oscars, embarrassed himself, and then went up there with that very inauthentic, awkward speech he had, without even apologizing really, to Chris Rock. It seemed like a very ego driven, narcissistic moment for him. But my take is a little different on this thing, and I think people may disagree, and that's fine. But I think for folks who are not necessarily invested into the industry like that, who are involved in the industry as far as like the nuances of what actually goes on in those spaces, they're not going to really understand how important something like this is. And I think banning him for 10 years is actually a huge deal. I think it's a huge deal, and I'm going to tell you a few reasons why. So, here's why I think this punishment is like such a huge deal. For one, so he's banned from the Oscars for 10 years, right? You got to understand, like, as an actor, 10 years is a long time, especially somebody of Matt caliber, somebody who's like still not necessarily in the fame space like him, but for somebody who already has a reputation to bring in loads and loads of money and not being able to work, as we're not saying he won't be able to work, but to pretty much have that stigma on you for 10 years, that's a really long time. It's a really long time for pretty much your career to be affected in that way. And now you could say, hey, it's just the Oscars. Like, it's just that he won't be able to go to the ceremony. Not necessarily. The Oscars is pretty much something that every person in Hollywood wants. Everybody strives for that Oscar. This is something that everybody, dreams. Like, if you ever watch the Oscars or watch people's speeches, what is synonymous among these speeches is when people are bringing up, the word dream. This was my dream, or I've dreamed of this since I was a little boy or girl, or dreams come true. All of these things that are mentioning that this was something that they've been striving for a long time. Because Oscars bring in a lot of validation for your career. It brings in a lot of validation because it pretty much says that all of my dues have been paid. And the Academy of Arts and Sciences have noticed my dues and decided that I am worthy of one of the most prestigious awards, in Hollywood. So essentially, when you win an Oscar, it affects your entire career. Your entire career changes. Your salary changes. Your level of leverage changes. How you negotiate. Like, everything about your career changes once you have an Oscar. Not to mention when it comes to marketing purposes, when it comes to movies, the fact that there's like an Oscar winner attached to a certain project is going to turn a lot of eyes and bring a lot of eyeballs to that project. And it's going to make a lot of investors more confident in investing in said project when they find out, like, like this Oscar winner actor, Oscar winner director. It means a big deal for your career. That being said, when there's someone that's essentially banned from the Oscars, on something on this level, for making a fool of the Oscars themselves, it's it's so tarnishing and so damaging to not only the Oscars brand but your brand as well. Pretty much anytime somebody wants to make a project, they're going to avoid you if they know that you could potentially jeopardize them from getting nominated. Okay. Now, let me just put something a little bit more in perspective here. Now, obviously, Will Smith is banned from the Oscars, so it's not like he won't be able to get nominated. He's pretty much ineligible from getting an Oscar for 10 years, and think, oh my god, 10 years, dog. Like, a lot can happen in 10 years. A lot can happen in 10 years for him to not be able to, you know, be acknowledged for 10 years. And this dude is 50. It's not like this dude is like in his 20s. He's not like he's 23 doing movies and stuff like that. No, he's 50 years old. He won't be able to get nominated or acknowledged or pretty much be on their attention until he's like 60 years old. That's a long time. And he's going to start to feel that. And he's going to still be able to make movies, but even still, that's a long time for an actor of his stature and at his age to be not, participating in the Oscars. We want to produce a project. And your project is good. It's very good. It's very renowned. It's very celebrated. And the Oscars want to be able to acknowledge that work by nominating you for whatever the case. Producers will, get acknowledged for those things. Anytime a film wins the Best Picture, producers get that Oscar. Producers get that credit for that because they produced the movie, right? And Will Smith, I believe, produces as well. So there's that. I think he also produces films. So anytime you have, let's say he decides to produce a movie, right? And it's winning all the box office numbers. It's critically acclaimed. Everybody loves the movie, right? And everybody's just jumping for joy, like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And yet Will Smith is attached to the project as producer, but it's getting all this Oscar buzz, right? The Academy is not going to just, and I could be wrong about this. They have their own set of rules. They could do whatever they just want to do. But it is, in my estimation, that movie won't be nominated for any kind of Best Picture because his name is attached to it. Anytime a movie is nominated for an Oscar, you have to give it to all the producers who are involved. And if his name is involved, that movie is most likely not going to get nominated because of his name. He's banned from the Oscars. He can't get nominated for anything. But maybe the 2-3 other producers that are also involved in that movie who are not banned are not going to also get that nomination because Will Smith's attached to it. You see where I'm going with this? Like, he's essentially affecting everybody else in that space just for working with them. This is why it's a huge deal. It's not that he just can't participate in the ceremonies and stuff like that. Anybody else that is accustomed with his name on any kind of project that could potentially win an award that everybody wants. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody wants that Oscar. It means that much. Everybody wants that. Anytime you produce a project with your name associated with Will Smith, who was banned from the Oscar for 10 years, you could possibly be jeopardizing their chances of getting nominated. So what does that mean? Well, that means that Will Smith is essentially unworkable. He's essentially somebody to stay away from. He is now the toxic person that we all need to stay away from. Because if I was producing a project, like if I was a multi-million dollar studio and I wanted to produce a project and I wanted to, make sure it gets submitted and gets all the buzz for Oscar award season, I'm not going to be anywhere close to Will Smith. Like just business wise, I just wouldn't. And if you think that it's gonna just stick to the Oscars, you guys are so mistaken. The industry, it's a big industry, but it's also close knit as far as network goes. Everybody is saying something. Like word gets around the industry so quickly and so fast. And if you think that this here it stands just with the Oscars, I think you're just naive if you think that this is not going to spread with the Golden Globes, the SAG Awards, anywhere else. Now he's not banned from those spaces. He's technically not banned from the Golden Globes. Those are a separate entity. The Academy of Arts and Sciences has banned him from the ceremony, right? So anything they got going on is fine. The Hollywood Foreign Press runs the Golden Globes, right? SAG Awards and everything else. I'm not sure exactly who represents those, but he's technically not banned from those things. However, I think it's extremely naive to think that it just stands with the Oscars. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that this is going to spread towards the Golden Globes, maybe to the SAG Awards, and they're going to say, you know what, we don't want Will Smith here because of what happened at the Academy. That's how bad it is. And until he can pretty much show himself again, he's not going to be able to pretty much being anything. Big budget wise, this is really going to affect his career. And I was telling my friends the other day that he better start looking at indie films as a big blockbuster A-list actor. I feel like he's going to have to prove himself again. Like all of the other up and coming actors who are, working their butts off trying to make a name for themselves and trying to pay their dues to get up to where he's at. He's going to have to take a salary cut, in my opinion. And if he wants to keep making movies, you know what I mean? Because if he wants to keep making movies and still demand that you pay me this much because I'm Will Smith, nobody's going to want to deal with that. They're going to be like, yeah, no, because you are a high risk for our project. We want to win awards. We want to be able to attend the Oscars. And working with you is just bad for business. And they're right. They're right. He's essentially the scarlet letter right now. Now I want to say this too, because everybody's been talking about, they've been comparing this whole situation with like Roman Polanski and Harvey Weinstein, right? One of the things that the comparison between Will Smith and those people, it's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way when they try to compare the two situations. And it's not because, of their actual said actions that they are accused of, right? It's very clear that those guys are very trash. But here's where I think it's a little bit different here. And people may disagree with me on this, but I think this is where what Will did is actually a little worse. Okay. You have Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, you have Roman Polanski, and all these folks, who've been accused of horrendous crimes, right? Those folks committed those crimes, but also were outside of the Academy. Okay. They didn't do these things live on television and embarrass the Oscars, all at once. These are people that had made their marks, they won their Oscars, they continue on to their lives, and then outside of that, they had personal issues and personal occurrences where they were just doing a bunch of demented stuff to where now, obviously, the Oscars don't want them around, and that's fine. The thing is, though, I think what makes this whole situation different with Will Smith is the fact that he not only just embarrassed himself, because all these folks over here, they embarrass themselves by doing these things. Will Smith didn't just embarrass himself. He embarrassed the Academy as well. And that's something that is trickling down to the Academy. Because now it's not that he has to make an apology. I mean, he can obviously apologize, say like, I'm sorry, I didn't, but the Academy also has to apologize too. Because that was because it was on live television, that is a whole representation of what the Oscars tolerates. Because, you hear people from all different angles about how, the Academy should do something. The Academy do something. And they're bringing the Academy's name into it because it happened on their watch. It happened on their platform, on live television. Will Smith didn't just slap Chris Rock on set somewhere. He didn't just slap Chris Rock, outside in the street somewhere, and paparazzi just happened to just be there to catch the moment. This was something where it was on television and on the Academy's watch, to where the Academy is going to come in and personally figure out a way to reprimand you. And so that's the thing. I feel like people who are bringing in the whole, and not to mention too, dude, like the only people that are really banned from the Oscars are people that are accused of disgusting crimes. Disgusting crimes. Imagine being banned from the Oscars for something completely different, but yet being associated with people who have also been banned from the Oscars as well. I mean, it's all unfortunate, to be honest, because whether you want to put the blame on his situation with Jada and things like that, the truth of the matter is that Will is a grown man, right? Will is a grown man, and he made a decision, and this is a decision that essentially for the next 10 years is going to affect him. And he did make an emotional decision. He clearly wasn't thinking. And people are literally beating on this thing to death. It's like, I'm tired of talking to Will Smith, and I'm tired of talking about it too. But I'm hearing a lot of things that people are saying that are showing themselves as that are just unfamiliar with the industry. They're not going to take his Oscar away. Okay, let's just put that out right there. He's not going to get his Oscar taken away. Okay, he did his job. He performed, and he performed the best this year. And he deserves that award. I don't care what nobody says. He deserves that award. His actions are unspeakable, but he definitely deserves that award. If you want to be objective, he deserves that award this year. And I don't think you should just take it away just because you had a moment. You won your award. But these consequences are extremely damaging to his brand, man. Like, seriously. And to be quite honest with you, it's very disappointing, man. It's very disappointing. Now, this is what I think he should do. I think he should really just bite the bullet and take those salary cuts. Because this guy I think he can make like 25 to 50 million a movie. Right? I'm not sure. I mean, he may make a little less than that. I'm not so sure about that. But considering that he's an Oscar winner now, he can demand more. But he's bad for business now. He's already lost movie deals. Bad Boys 4 is on the back burner now. Netflix, Apple TV, like a lot of people are already backing away from him, and that's really not helping him right now. And I'm pretty sure he's feeling the effects of that. So I think what he needs to do is, you want to talk about humbling somebody, I don't think there's anything more humbling than doing a movie for less than what you're worth of. If you want to do a movie, and somebody knows that you're bad for business, that you're a high-risk actor, that they need to put faith in, you take that pay cut. Yeah, do Bad Boys 4 for, $4 million instead of 20. Things like that, because you're a high-risk actor now. People don't want to work with you. They want to win that. The Oscar doesn't like you right now, meaning that you're going to have to, negotiate some terms. You better look into some indies, man, like indie films. They're not necessarily the most expensive budgets anyways, but you want to keep making movies, man, do those things and accept that paycheck. Take that $2 million or that, $600,000, whatever the case. I think his name is still big enough to bring names and seats and things like that, but probably for smaller studios. So those are my thoughts. And this is the only thing I'm going to say about Will Smith. I've been hearing this thing all week about him and Jada and things like that. I'm not going to get into the whole Jada situation. We all know how we already know about that and my feelings on that. But this is all I'm going to say about that. But I hope you guys like the video. Make sure you subscribe and you like the video. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think about my thoughts? Do you guys think that I'm tripping? Do you guys think that, maybe I'm wrong about the Oscars or how movies are made or whatever? I'm pretty sure I'm on the money on this, but I could be wrong, and I'm open to having that conversation. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, peace.